Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have received a package, and I think that it is Renesans Polska, the famous Polish art supplies manufacturer. I have met them in Bologna during Fabriano and Acquarello. It was a very interesting day. Really, I need to go more often to this type of conferences. At Fabriano and Acquarello, it's a famous watercolor conference, people and companies from all over the world. So I was introduced to these Renesans Polska people by Eleonora Serra, a friend of mine, and I was with Laura Raduazzo, one more friend of mine, both great watercolor artists, and we chatted. I told them that I have this YouTube channel, and they sent me this package. Can't wait to open it, and let's do it. You know that with cutters I have a difficult relationship because I'm always afraid to cut my fingers, but let's see what I can do without cutting my fingers. Wow, it's a box full of art supplies. Thank you, Renesans Polska. I have no idea what's inside. Let's check out right now. So these are fine liners, and I think they're waterproof. Yes, it's it is their fine liners. You know that I sketch a lot in ink and watercolor, so this is fantastic. And I need to swatch all these supplies for you. Maybe not today, but and it is from 0.03 millimeters to 1 millimeters. So it's an alternative to Sakura fine liner micron. Can't wait to test those. Then, very promising, what is this? Watercolor extra fine travel box. Wonderful. Let me open this. I have some tubes from Renesans, but I have never tried the pans. I think these are pans, and these are the colors inside. Let's see. I'm so excited. 24 watercolor set in metal box, professional. I love this. Okay, so this should be the colors inside. And wow, there is a swatch chart. 24 colors, beautiful colors, by the way, very unusual. And you see some of them: mineral violet, cobalt blue, cobalt turquoise. Very expensive colors. Golden green. Wow, still the grain brown. So unusual, so happy. Venetian yellow. I wonder what this is. This will be the first thing I swatch for you, friends. And wow, I'm so happy, so happy. Naples yellow, reddish, titanium white. Wow, what a lovely set. Then their color chart, fantastic, always very useful. And one to give away, so I can give one to a friend. Oh, no, I don't believe this. I really don't believe this. What's in here? Three brushes, beautiful brushes, round with a very fine point and a flat one for details. Incredibly good for bricks, this type of brush. Then a watercolor sketchbook, 300 GSM, pure cotton. Oh, this is fantastic. Cold press, fantastic. Cartiere Magnani, macchina in tondo. It's a round machine, so it's the highest possibly. A cylinder mold machine using felt makers of an exclusive Magnani 1404 design, the top of quality for paper. And it's called Italia, this type of paper. Look at this. I can't wait to try this as well. Look at this. Here, let's see what's in here. Here I have liquid charcoal, graphite and charcoal. I have a watercolor graphite by Viarco, and it's lovely. And I also have liquid charcoal by Schminke. I might do a comparison. And so happy about these. These are great for painting human figures or, you know, figure sketching, nudes. I love these for sketches. So generous of them. Can't wait to try them all. This is Cobalt Green Mint. It's a pigment, PG50, one of the most expensive pigments. Let's see how I can use this. Then watercolors. Wow, tubes watercolors, mineral violet, purple magenta, quinacridone red. Let me open all of them. I need to swatch all of these, make a palette out of these. Thank you so much, Renesans Polska. The first thing I'll do today is swatch this beautiful half pans palette for you. So stay with me, let's swatch it together. Renesans So I have prepared my paper in my sketchbook where I keep all my swatches, and I'm ready to unwrap these beautiful half pans and swatch them. Just one thing, I told you I had two leaflets. Actually they're different. This is for half pans, half godet, and the other ones is for tube, because the formula can slightly differ in Renesans from half pans, from pans and tubes. So this is the leaflet for half pans, the other one is for tubes. So there are some very unusual pigment, and just to let you know what kind of information you have. Of course you have complete information on pigments. Here you see you have pigments, and you have here the granulation, if there is a granulation, and the transparency. Also, I think this 8 refers to life fastness. And it's handmade in Poland with Arabic gum and honey. Usually I like colors with honey very much because they're softer, more sticky, but easier to re-wet. I prefer them usually. So I will unwrap them and I'll be back. You see, they're quite easy to unwrap, and you can stick on the back the name of the label with the name and all the properties, so you know what you have in your pans. I'll finish this. Okay, let's start swatching. Always a very nice moment. I am really happy that I met these people from Renesans in Bologna. They were adorable. We had a very warm contact, and I'm so happy that they sent me everything. So I've heard only great things about them on the internet. I have also tried some tubes that I have bought here in Italy, and but I have a very limited range. But it's the first time I try the half pads. Of course, my review will be, as usual, completely transparent and honest, but I have like a positive bias because I've heard so well about them and they were so nice. So I'm not re-wetting neither the paper nor the paint because I have the feeling that it's quite easy to re-wet, and it is actually very easy to re-wet. Look at this, because it's honey based, and while I was unwrapping it felt slightly sticky, which for me, it's very subjective, it's very personal. For me, it's a nice thing. I love sticky paints. I love soft paints like Sennelier or other paints, M-Gram, other paints that are made with honey. For me, it's a quality. And this is titanium white, PW6, the opaque white. Then I have a color that can come in handy if you sketch, for instance, people on the go. It's a peachy Naples yellow. It's called Naples Yellow Reddish. And it's like if you paint people or nudes for a quick sketch, it can come in very handy. I find it useful to have for quick sketches for people, but also very much for sky, because it has a peach undertone that for clouds. And this is really nice, very pleasant to lay on paper. Slightly opaque because it's PW6, so it's opaque white, PR 254, Parrot Red, and PBR6. PBR6 is the synthetic version of PBR7. It's a synthetic iron oxide, and it's a dark brown. Let's go to the yellows. Lemon yellow is an Hansa yellow. It's very common pigment, not the most light fast in the world, but it's very common because it's beautiful. And it is beautiful. It's very vibrant. Oh, this is so pigmented. So pigmented. Okay, lemon yellow. Incredibly saturated. I really love this. Very easy to wet. Slightly opaque. I will put a drop of water. So then I have Gamboge U. I have a Gamboge which is probably darker than this. This is a very light version of Gamboge, and actually it's still PY3 plus PY55. So it's PY55 is not a pigment that I've met before, so I don't know much about it. PY3, it's the same. I think they look very much the same. This Gamboge is slightly darker, but there is not a big difference. But it's very lovely color. It's more transparent maybe than the lemon yellow. but it's a medium yellow. My gamboge that I have from, I think, My Mary. I think it's My Mary, it's darker. Okay, now cadmium orange, a color that I have actually not tried much in my life. And it's a color with great mixing properties, they say. So it was in my wish list. And here it is. It's very lovely color, vibrant orange. I think that for sunsets, this is wonderful. It washes down very, very well. Of course, it's opaque because it's a cadmium pigment, PO20, and it's very, very easy to use. Vibrant, beautiful. And then cadmium red pale, a color that should be in any palette. I have some versions of this red pale that are more vermilion. This is actually a warm red, and it's PR 108, very pigmented, so easy to paint with this, incredible dispersion on paper. It's a pleasure, very beautiful color. Then I have cadmium red deep, same pigment, different treatment, and it's more a colder, it's beautiful. This is almost granulating, wow. And it's a colder version, it's a deeper version of this cadmium red, and it's very beautiful. I promise it's almost granulating. Let's see when it dries. Beautiful cherry color, wow. Wonderful, this one. Great color to have. It reminds me of the Volcano Red by Schminke, granulating red made with this pigment, and this reminds me a lot of that beautiful color because it has a texture, it's really nice. Then I have this Geranium Lake. On the leaflet it said one pigment, on the label it said a different pigment, so I used the pigment on the label, and it is PR 633, PR 63-1, and frankly it's not a pigment that I've met before. I don't know much about it, but it's a beautiful magenta. It's really a beautiful magenta, and I think that it says that it is light fast on the label, so I give credit to the label. But I can tell you it's wonderful magenta, so it's really beautiful. I like when you get a value range like this, from mass tone to a lighter wash. There is this beautiful difference, value difference. Then I have PV23, which is dioxazine violet, and it is, they call it mineral violet. It's really a color that it's present in almost any basic palette because it's very useful for darkening colors or for shadows. This is so easy to re-wet, and the dispersion on paper is extraordinary, great quality. I understand why people speak so highly about this brand. Okay, lovely, lovely violet. Usually this pigment PV23 has a huge dry shift. Let's see if it's the case for Renaissance also. Then they have very expensive pigments in this palette. Cobalt blue. You know that cobalt pigments are very expensive, and this is a beautiful, genuine, original, classic cobalt blue PB28, and it's very beautiful, very saturated. Lovely, lovely. Let's see the granulation when it dries, although unfortunately this paper does not help granulation, but this is the paper that I use for all my swatches, so if there is a granulation we're going to see. Then we have Poland blue, and it is actually a phthalo blue, one of my go-to blues for skies. It's deep phthalo blue. It's really nice. It's actually PB151, which is the red shade of phthalo blue. That's a beautiful warmer phthalo blue, and I really like it. This Poland blue looks a bit like an ultramarine blue, to be honest. I'm curious to see the difference between the pans and the tubes, because I've heard there is a difference. But these pans are really nice, very easy to re-wet, which for me is one of the most important features in half pans. And then I have this Paris blue. It's the first time I have a Paris blue in my range, and it is a Prussian blue plus phthalo green PG7, and it's a wonderful, almost turquoise sea blue. Look at this. Look how easy. Paper is dry. Look how easy it is to spread paint on paper. Quite enthusiastic. Fantastic. Okay, this was the second row. Now, one of my favorite colors, cobalt turquoise. This is made with PB36, which is a variety of cobalt blue, and PG50. Two cobalt colors. Should be very granulating. It's not a teal. It's a turquoise, but it's not really a teal. It's bluer than a teal. I personally prefer the lighter version, like the one from Winsor & Newton. This is like a dark cerulean, but it's a beautiful color for tropical sea, just like this Paris blue, but it is granulating, whereas the Paris blue, of course, it's totally smooth, beautiful granulation. I see it coming through. It's a beautiful color. Now, a color that I haven't really met before, and it's PY53 Venetian yellow. It's actually a nickel titanate yellow, I think. Let me check. Yes. It's nickel titanate yellow, and it's an opaque yellow that is very nice for sky. It's a smooth, opaque, soft yellow. I think that for sky this is really nice. Very, very nice to have this. It's very unusual to have such a color in a basic set. There are some very unusual color in. I love that fact that it's not the usual 24 palette, basic palette. It's really something that stimulates your creativity to have these different colors. Then we have golden green. It's not the single pigment version. It's a multi-pigment version with two pigments, PY83 and PG17. So chromium oxide green. And this PY83 is an orangey yellow. I think it's called diarylide, something like this yellow. It's not important, but it's an unusual combination. I've never seen this before, and it's quite transparent. It's very beautiful. Muted golden green, very nice. Then cinnabar green pale. Usually I'm not crazy about colors that start with cinnabar. I don't know why, because they're usually opaque. And I'm not crazy about these yellowish greens. This is made of 3 pigments, PG7, phthalo green, PY3 Hansa yellow, and PY83, this orange yellow that we find here. I must say this is very nice. It's more like an olive green. It's a bit opaque, but it's a very lovely green. I expected some artificial green, but it's not at all. It's a muted olive green. It's really lovely. I can't tell you how easy this paint is to spread on paper. I hope you can see that. Then we have this zinc green, and this is absolutely not my cup of tea. I can see it from the pan. It's one of those vibrant artificial greens that really turned me off. This is absolutely not my type of green, but I'm sure I can find some use for this. What do you think of this type of green? But this is an urban sketching, can be used for signals, or I don't know, street lights, or last touches, maybe touches here and there of light in a landscape. And then this green PG8, I've only seen from, it's beautiful green, from White Nights and Rosa Gallery. And it is this dark green. It's not a hooker's green, actually. The name is probably not correct. I'm not sure how light fast it is, but it's a wonderful deep green. I had it in my White Night palette. I have it in my Rosa Gallery palette, I think, but I've tried it from Rosa Gallery, and here it is, and it is a wonderful, wonderful green, PG8. Just to make your own light fast test, because I'm not sure. Then raw sienna, PBR7, and this is almost an ochre brown. It's usually raw sienna is more yellowish. This is a beautiful, it's like a spinel brown by Schminke. It's like an ochre more than a raw sienna. It's more brownish, very beautiful, very easy to use. Oh, lovely, lovely. Then we have Style de Grain. Style de Grain originally was a natural pigment from a plant, and I have the Sennelier version called Brown Pink, given to me by a follower. And this is PY42 Yellow Ochre, PBR6 and PBK7, and it's a beautiful, beautiful organic muted brown. It's so rich and saturated. You can't believe how rich. I mean, with one brush stroke I made the whole square. It's incredibly saturated. Wow. It really wets so easily. Then raw amber. Raw amber is one of those colors that really sit in my palette unused, and it's this cold, very organic brown. I'm sure that it's great for tree trunks, and I have used it recently more, but still my hand does not naturally go to raw amber, but this version is absolutely beautiful. I'm really amazed. I'm impressed. Let's go to sepia. I'm very finicky with sepia. I only use my Sennelier warm sepia. This is unusual pigment because it's yellow ochre plus black. PBK7, it's PY42, yellow iron oxide and black. And I must say it's very lovely because it has a warmth in it, just like the Sennelier one. It's very organic, nice color variation. It's very nice, this one. I'm impressed. Wow, Payne's Gray. This is made with unusual formulation, these two, And this is made with Prussian blue and the granulating mouse black, PBK 11. And it's very unusual formulation for Payne's gray. It's it's a bluish Payne's gray, and it's beautiful. It's almost an indigo actually. Beautiful. And then an ivory black. Ivory black. Very dark. It's very dark. It's incredible how saturated and easy to re-wet and to spread on paper they are. So we let these dry. Try maybe a little sketch in the meantime. So I have tried quick sketch, what I call advanced swatching, with my new palette by Renesans, the half pans. Just last touches. And I was really pleased. These colors are really a joy to use because they're so creamy and buttery, and the colors are so unusual and intense. I was really pleased and amazed that I have never used them before. I know that in the United States they're very well known. Here in Italy they still have to find the correct place because they are true artist grade, and I think they deserve a place among the best brands. I was really pleased, and let's see what the colors are now they're dry. It's the day after today, so they're fully dry. And I was, as I said, extremely pleased with all these colors. This palette is has a very unusual color choice. There are some fundamental colors that are missing, like ultramarine blue or yellow ochres. There are like two cold yellows that are very close together. There is no unearthly yellows. There is no yellow ochre, or this raw sienna is not really what I would call a raw sienna. It's more light burnt umber, a brown ochre. But having said this, that maybe this should be integrated, the quality is really outstanding. I really love this Paris blue. Look at this Poland blue, this phthalo, it's slightly muted, it's wonderful. And this geranium lake, I was really pleased with this range, and I think it's a fantastic second palette to have, because most colors are not colors that you would find in a ready-made usual palette, except for Payne's Gray or Ivory Black, because the greens are quite unusual. The yellows, this Venetian yellow is quite unusual. This cadmium red deep is wonderful. It's not the usual cadmium red, it's different, it's deeper, it's more muted. I think that it's a fantastic second palette. What I was really impressed with is the creaminess of these colors. I mean, they re-wet instantly, and they are like fresh paint straight from the tube. You don't have the impression of working with half pan, because the feeling is really that of fresh paint from the tube. And I think this is absolutely unique among the paints that I have tried. I don't know any other brand that behaves like this. So it's big yes for me, this Renaissance. I can't wait to try the tubes, and I think that maybe I will integrate this half pans palette, or maybe I will squeeze some tubes in the pan to complete the range with a warm yellow or an ultramarine blue or a yellow ochre. And I really thank Renaissance for having sent this fantastic set to me. I'm also very curious to know your experience with this brand. Have you tried the half pans? Because I know that the tubes are slightly different. And are you curious about them? What's your impressions? What colors have you tried? As usual, I will be very, very happy to chat. If you haven't subscribed my channel, you can do it now, so you will not miss my next videos. I always publish new comparison and reviews of watercolors. And thanks a lot for having watched this with me. And ciao ciao from Elisabetta. Ciao, ciao.